Welcome to another weekly edition of our StaySmart newsletter and podcast, brought to you by Viciniti Corporate Housing, where we try to keep you updated on what we see happening in the industry. It's our first weekly indoor edition. The weather here in the Midwest has been a little bit tricky, whether it's been cold or rainy or fog or snow. It's been a little bit of a challenge to get all of our editions shot outside, so I hope this works out on our first weekly indoor edition of the StaySmart newsletter and podcast. So the articles that we have this week, the first one is about Atlas Van Lines and Suddath companies announcing their partnership of Suddath moving storage coming back to the Atlas agent family. Obviously, Suddath is a leader in transportation and relocation, and they were actually a part of the Atlas agent family from 1950 to 1981. Obviously, this is kind of a strategic partnership. We've seen a lot of consolidation or strategic partnerships in the industry in the last couple of years as we've been doing this podcast. So interesting to see this announcement that just came out last week. There was a new article about a new hospitality concept coming out in Atlanta. Real estate investment company Jamestown announced the details of their new hospitality concept in Atlanta. It's actually called Scout Living. It's going to be 405 fully furnished 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units that's available for as short as one night or a traditional 1-year lease. These are Furnished units. They have all the appliances, washer and dryer, Wi-Fi is included in the building. It's Scout Living powered by Placemaker. So we've talked about Placemaker before on this podcast. So they're using their tech stack to enable furnished living units in Atlanta. So this will be interesting to see how Scout Living works out opening later this year. There's a good article about the 5 tech trends in the hotel industry in 2024. I thought these were really interesting. So the first one was obviously AI, but it was talking about more how AI is going to be used and more of the back of the house operations instead of selling AI or ChatGPT kind of functions to the customer. Actually, really, improving efficiencies kind of back of the house operations. And then the second one that they talk about is a broader use of automation. It kind of ties into AI, but again, this is kind of like going to be used as back of the house. It's still looking to increase efficiency, and with staffing challenges, how can they implement automation to overcome that? And then number 3 is unifying systems and better data. So whether it's your property management system, distribution, or pricing, you're trying to bring all those together. And then number 4, they mentioned cybersecurity. But what was interesting about this is they talked about social engineering has been the chief cause of a lot of cyber attacks. So training their employees about cybersecurity is what they mentioned in this. So that's kind of interesting when we talk about cybersecurity. A lot of times we're talking about technology, but it really comes down to the people that use that technology and training them right. And then last, they talk about increased investment. They see hospitality, travel in general, kind of the demand still looks strong there. So maybe this is an opportunity to invest in technology in the hospitality hotel industry. And then finally, there's an article from the New York Times about will passports be replaced by biometrics? So think fingerprints or facial recognition scans. There's several trial programs coming out right now. TSA has this program out in 30 different airports where you can sign up if you have your known travel number, take a photo. You can it'll recognize you versus that photo. Las Vegas is actually trialing a self-security with this technology. So really interesting. I do think this is kind of the wave of the future. I think this is going to be replacing quote unquote passport or driver's license, just because it's the backlog of lines at airports has to be overcome somehow. So really good information from the New York Times. Those are the articles that we have this week. If you'd like to hear more about Viciniti Corporate Housing, how we can help you with your corporate housing needs, or if we can help you with anything kind of in this space that we talk about, relocation, hospitality, business travel, furniture rental, let us know. We'd love to be a resource to use. But again, if you'd like to learn more about Vicinity Corporate Housing, reach out to us. Contact information is right here. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast or our newsletter yet, go ahead and do that. That's what I see transitioning this week. Take care, everyone.